I'm Ivy.
I'm Rachel, and we are Swords and Sapphics, a podcast all about representation, queer media, women with a capital W, and a little bit of nonsense.
So start sharpening your swords, sip your tea, and join us as we obsess over the wonderful beings that are women.
Hello. Hello.
How are you?
Fancy seeing you here.
I know. What you doing here? How did you get here? Why are you in my
Just
screen?
chill out.
Are you stuck?
I don't know, someone put me here,
Oh my God. Some
and they
sort of...
left me.
Oh no.
It was the magical forest witch.
Oh, that was my next question. If we're talking about a witch or like a meta-human type of thing from Flash, because there was a meta-human who got into mirrors, and he was played by Gray. What's his name? That plays Jack on Station 19.
Grey Damon.
That one.
But I fear it's far too early in the episode to get into that.
If you fear that.
So what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, I guess we're gonna do a little quick catch up of ours as usual. And then we
Yeah.
dive into perhaps starting with Bridger and ends with Ton. Do you have to think about that?
What could that be?
Yeah.
Bridgeringeton,
There you go.
Bridger.
No, that you did it. That was the first time you guessed it.
No, I said Bridgerington because I was
Yeah.
trying to be funny.
Yeah. Thank you. Me too. That was the joke.
Oh. Fucking hell. You know what's worse than when you don't understand my jokes? It's when you understand them, continue them, and I don't understand that you're doing that.
Oh, honestly. And I always feel like we have like a good flow going on. And then it's just but that's okay.
I'm very good at breaking the flow.
That's okay.
I'm like a human tampon.
Weird metaphor to use. Sure.
What have you been reading recently?
I've been reading a little bit.
Have
I've been
you?
listening to, well, first of all, I did finish An Education of Malice by S.T. Gibson, which is a sapphic vampire thingy. It's from the same universe as A Dowry of Blood, and there was a character from the book, which was great. I was like, oh, I know this one.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you forget all of their names? Are you trying to figure out the names?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember one of them did go into academics.
Oh, I
But
don't
the one
remember.
beginning with a C.
Constanta.
Constantine.
Constanta.
Constanta.
Yeah. She wasn't there. It was the other one,
Oh.
Magdalena. Yeah. She was there.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was exciting. And I mean, it was a good book. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like I mean, A Dowry of Blood, I think, is so specific and so incredibly well done and executed that nothing can really touch it.
Mm-hmm.
And my theory is that people expected the same thing from An Education of Malice. It's not the same thing. It's a very different thing.
Yeah.
But I did
It is
enjoy it.
very it's very hard for like authors who
Mm,
get big from one book, but
yeah.
then they don't stick to. I mean, and you couldn't because like it is really one of a kind, but
Mm-hmm.
readers do kind of expect the same thing from an author, which is hard work from an author's perspective, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. I said I'm sure, but I am an author, and I
Yeah.
will say it's probably hard work, yeah.
Look, it was sapphic and it was vampires and was really good. It was interesting. Again, like the characters, I think there could be taken more care, like with the depths of the characters, and because it was about a teacher who was a vampire, and she was interested in one of her students, and then a new student came in, and they were sort of like battling for the attention of the teacher while simultaneously hating each other and falling in love. So I guess there could they could be more. It lacked a little bit of the depth that it could have had.
Hmm.
But otherwise, I enjoyed it very much. Again, like
Yeah.
it was vampires, it was Suffolk. What more do you want, right?
Yeah. We can't be complaining when we get sapphic vampires.
Yeah. So I was reading that, and then because I was doing my puzzles, I went back to Throne of Glass audiobooks, and I finished Air of Fire, and now I'm Queen of Shadows. Yeah,
Wonderful.
but I finished my puzzles, so I don't know what to do now. Still have one more, but anyway, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really it. What have you been reading?
I've been reading a lot. Well, yeah, I guess I have been reading a lot. I'm back in my apocalypse. Oh,
Gobble gobble.
I'm I'm back in my apocalypse era. I don't often buy a book and immediately read it. I have a huge TBR stack,
She
and I
doesn't.
feel
She
it's only
lies.
right. Huh?
She doesn't. She lies.
No, it's Mahusive, and it's actually a trolley, and it's a pile on top of a trolley as well as the trolley itself. And I'm autistic, so they all have feelings to me, and I hate myself when I pick up the newest book on the pile instead of one that's been waiting its turn for very patiently for a very long time. But I saw Sapphic Zombies and I needed them.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
So I got Here in Red by Nicole Mesa. Um, and it's not disappointing me so far. I'm really excited to get back into it later.
Mm.
Um, I'm 100 pages in. It's quite thick. She's like 500. And one of my favorite things about it is that it's already performing very well, which means hopefully we get more sapphic zombie apocalypse novels in the
Mm.
future. I might even be writing one myself. Who knows?
Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really great. And it wasn't it's even more inclusive than I thought because one of the characters is blind. I've never read from the perspective of a blind character before, and I always think it must be so hard to like not slip up and comment on like the visual aspects of the scene because
Mm.
like it's so inherent to do that as an author.
Yeah.
So to not have that, but still have the author be able to tell a story really well and from that true to that character's perspective is pretty
Mm.
fucking amazing if you ask
Yeah.
me. And the other character is asthmatic and needs meds for that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's really good.
Good.
And as well as that, because I really needed zombies, I also started How We End by L.M. Juniper, which is also in a zombie apocalypse, but it's set in Britain, whereas Here in Red is American, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I haven't got to the apocalypse part yet, but they're stuck on a tube, which is instantly. I love a good trapped in an enclosed space and have to forced to be meet new people. And the main character is a trans man, and both of the characters are characters of color. So, yeah.
Mm.
And the female character was in jail.
Oh.
She was in prison. I don't know what for yet. But yeah,
Mm.
I'm really enjoying that one as well.
Interesting. Good.
Yeah. What else have I been reading? I read last week, true to myself, I went to the bottom of my Kindle and read the first thing I downloaded there, which happened to be Carte Blanche by Nash Summers. It was a quick novella. It was free, I believe. I actually didn't talk about it with you. It's a Killian, and and this guy moves in across the hall, and the main character it has OCD and doesn't really leave their hall, like doesn't leave the house. Um, and it was fine. Like the romance was nice, but and the OCD wasn't like necessarily represented badly. But because it was such a short book,
Mm-hmm.
for me, like I don't think you could ever do justice to a complex condition like OCD with along with the resolution arc in that space of time because like it's never not going to be like you're kind of making it look easier than it is to get
Mm.
over, which it was the case here. And Devin, the love interest, was I don't know why he was attracted to the main character in the first place because the main character just wanted to be left alone. Like there was no reason for either of them to like fall for each other or give
Mm-hmm.
each other a chance.
Okay.
And yeah, so and then Devin was like encouraging Jude, the main character, to like be better, come out more, kind of move past the limits of his OCD, which was nice again, but like he became a therapist before a love interest, and again, there was no reason for that. He wasn't a therapist. He like specifically got books on OCD, so it was like he was actively trying to fix Jude, and I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say if like someone new came into my life and tried to like in my head to me that's like lecture me how to do my life in this sense and like
Yeah.
how to like heal when I necessarily never ask anyone. That
Hmm.
wouldn't sit well with me.
And it's also the assumption that you haven't already sought help for it before.
Yeah.
No, I'm not into it. For me, like it's not romantic to for somebody to try and change you, even if it's like necessary to heal.
Yeah.
Like my favorite trope is when they love each other at the messiest.
And when they like learn the other person's limitation and act accordingly, or
Hmm.
like try to figure out how to make it easier. Like a great
Yeah,
example
exactly.
of that to me, and that one I carry with me because that's a case for me, is in what was it? By Chloe Liesa. It was Two Wrongs Make a Right.
Yeah.
Because she had a texture issues, he started making like soups for her, like very specifically done so she wouldn't have issues of the vegetable texture. Which to
Hmm.
me was like, oh my gosh, like because I can't eat vegetables because of the textures and also allergies, but that's not here or there. But like that was such a really nice, kind gesture just because he wanted to take care of her. So he figured
Yeah.
out a way that would be acceptable for her to like be okay
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. For me, like, but yeah, see, like, I don't know how much I can even comment on it because, like, what I thought was my mental illness was actually neurodivergence, and it's probably going to be with me for the rest of my life. But,
Mm.
like, from what I know of my own mental illnesses and stuff, like, it's never that simple, and I hate it being simplified. Even when this wasn't represented badly, like, it was still going to be simplified because of that.
Are you talking about
The
the
book.
the book you read just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah.
yeah.
Like I guess neurodivergence and OCD, but then like there's so much overlap between them. I don't know. Like I don't know. I always need things to be represented a certain way for me, and that's
Mm,
really annoying.
yeah.
But like I don't know. I just think it's really hard to kind of portray like the magnitude of an illness like that,
Yeah.
especially in 60 something pages.
Mm. Oh yeah,
And
well,
also
yeah.
the romance didn't happen where like they fell in love and then he tried to help him. It happened where like he was trying to help him and
Mhm.
I don't know why and they fancied each other at the same time. So it was like I'll try and change you so that we can be together well.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, it just didn't sit right.
Mm.
And then I finished Romance in the Gorgon finally, which we've talked about a few times here because we both took quite a while to finish it.
Yeah.
It's by Tally Rose. It's sapphic. It's a witch and a gorgon. And it's like a cozy saving the lodge type book where they become co-owners of a lodge together after the death of a grandmother. And it was fun. It was good. It was pleasant to read. It slowed down in places for me, but it had that like they were ex-best friends with like feelings under the surface, and it could get explosive between them,
Mm.
literally. But like we were both talking about it, and the more we talked about it, the more we had like more thoughts about
Mm.
how it could have just it wasn't really resolved by the end. But it was fun. It was nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There was a
I've
lot
been
of
with
plot gaps, is what we realized.
yeah, the magic like it could have still been a book without the magic.
Mm.
Yeah, it was good. It was fine.
Yeah.
It could have been better, but it wasn't awful and it was fun. So
Yeah, there you go.
that's my review.
Yeah. What more is
Yeah.
there really needed?
There was lots of pining. We love sapphic pining. The Gorgon character was kind of like if Delilah Green was a Gorgon,
Yeah.
because she looks like her on the front cover and she kind of acts like her a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And finally, I've been listening to the Hunger Games and how it was a great day for me last week because I finished listening to Catching Fire on my little dog walk. And then I came home and I found out that a new book is coming out next year with Haymitch's year, the quarter quell. This is it the second quarter quell, like 50, the 50th year.
Someone said, however, I didn't send it to you because I was like, I can't ruin her excitement, so I'm gonna ruin it now a little bit. I guess is that at some point, I guess author Susan Collins said that she doesn't want to like rewrite his like from his point of view. So like it might be from someone else's point of view.
I do believe it will be.
Yeah.
And she said that she only like writes when she has something to say. And obviously, like with everything that's happening and I think she's mentioned a lot about like the propaganda. I
Mm-hmm.
think with everything that's happening in Gaza, I think it will be focused on like the capital and the way that they kind of justified killing like 47 kids because in the court quell it's double the amount of
Yeah.
Hunger Games um tributes. Yeah, so I think I reckon it'll be multi point of view because it's 48 tributes. So I think they'd at least have to have some like they'd have to show some of Haymitch. And as long as I get some, I'm okay with that.
I get
I
it.
think that I'm hoping that there'll be Plutarch. I'm hoping he'll be there.
Mm.
And I guess we're gonna get another President Snow cast in because
Yeah.
we're gonna have him in every fucking era now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's really exciting. We were saying though, like everybody was praising Suzanne for like only writing when she has something to say and not even like just releasing a book deal and a movie deal on the same day. And it's not even her announcing it. It's like the publishers and the huge news outlets and stuff. And they were praising her for it. And I was like, that's a real privilege though. Like she's earned it because she's an amazing writer and Hunger Games is like gonna be a classic. But like, let's not praise authors for doing like something that's an absolute privilege because most of us need to keep writing.
Well, and as I
Even
said before, that's really on you that you were in like elementary school and not writing dystopian novels. Like,
I know.
okay.
I know, I agree, man.
Yeah.
I was just li I shouldn't have been doing my English literature SATs.
Mhm.
I should have been writing my first book.
Yeah.
But here
See,
we are. We have to
mistakes,
do
regrets, there you go. Mm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's really it. Like it's just interesting the way that it all comes about. Because even that day, like that announcement drew attention from the things happening in Gaza, and right now it's a real like tense, like it's never been this bad before. It's just steadily climbed up to this level where it's absolutely
Mhm.
awful and it needs to be focused on quite a lot. So it's just, I don't know. I think there can be a difference between enjoying somebody and appreciating them and admiring them and like praising them for something that isn't necessarily like something something that she's actively chosen to do, but rather something that she's been privileged enough to be able to do, I think.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. But I just want to put it out there that I was a Hamish stan from the very beginning. You're all gonna pounce on him when you see him in the arena, but I was there when he was a middle-aged alcoholic. I just want it out there.
Is it you were there when he was that or because he was all that?
I might be partial to a messy alcoholic man every now and again,
Mm.
but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. And gosh darn it when they get a therapy.
Oh, well, that can't happen for Dear Haymitch, can it?
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. The way we talk about our characters and what we enjoy in them is so unhinged. I
It's
think
so
we would
fucking
get locked
bizarre.
up.
I
Huh?
just went on a rant about how like OCD wasn't represented well in one book, and then I'm like, oh, but give me the alcoholics just for my pure entertainment.
Yeah, it is
Well,
what it
I
is.
just enjoy the angst, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
Mm.
I'm not
It's
sorry.
like you're allowed to enjoy something in a book that you would not necessarily condone or like be like, oh, yay, in real life. Oh
Well,
no.
yeah, because otherwise Hunger Games would be fucked. I don't think anybody else, or any of us wants to live in that dystopian district.
And yet,
And yet we're
and yet,
headed there every day.
here we are on our way.
Anyways, we
Anything else
digress.
you're enjoying?
A lot of things.
Mm.
I'm a bit of a mess at the minute.
Aren't we
Um,
all?
I'm watching a lot of, I keep just putting on different shows.
Mm.
I'm back in my Walking Dead era. Surprise, surprise. Carl just died. Coral.
I love how
Figured,
you sometimes just like quote, like say the name of the person, like as it said in the show, I presume,
yeah.
without like giving any context.
Okay, well, the context is that Andrew Lincoln pronounces Carl like Coral in the show because he's got a silly southern accent
Yeah.
and he figured it out.
Yeah.
And we've been watching Trying.
Oh
There's a new
yes,
season of Trying.
yes. Which we honestly like just go on Apple TV, pick anything you want, and you'll there is a high chance you'll enjoy it because it's just so
Yeah,
good.
except for Ghosted with Chris Evans.
Yeah,
I
that
I
makes
would
me feel
be
better
a bit
about
more
it.
cautious with the movies. The TV shows are great, the
Yeah.
movies. But I've not been enjoying it as much as previous seasons because they made it's called Karen.
Hmm.
Karen's a lot meaner. And I don't even like Scott because he's an arrogant white man, but they were so mean on his birthday that it really just made me sad. It was supposed to be funny that they all ignored his wishes to do a murder mystery party,
It was
but it
genuinely fun.
wasn't.
But I was thinking about it actually today, and because I am enjoying it a lot, but I think what's one thing that you like I'm not actively thinking of when I'm watching it is that there is 5 years since we last saw the characters.
Hmm.
And so like Karen especially spent her 5 years living a very privileged life. So she
Yeah.
didn't no longer have to pretend to be like sort of somewhat like nice because she's no longer a teacher. And I don't even know what work she's doing, if she became the writer or not, because at the previous season she
Oh
started
yeah.
writing. I don't know if
Mm.
that happened. But like when you really we don't know what happened in the last 5 years.
Mm.
And I guess if you start thinking about that, then to me at least, it makes more sense now.
Well, it makes sense, and I do still have faith that they're gonna have a reason for it,
Yeah, I think
and
that's
that
gonna
it's
be
not
all
just
of
gonna
the
be.
I think especially after the last episode, I am more aware that like Karen's like the way her personality changed a little bit, or like the mm,
I love mean women,
yeah. But
and
I
I was
think
ready
like it
to.
was fun, and now it's really just not fun. And I think that's gonna be the whole plot point of this season.
I
Like
really
this is
hope
what I'm
so.
getting at,
I
especially
have
after the
faith.
fight.
Yeah, I have faith in that.
Yeah.
Um, but like I think the difference is being that like every other episode that we watched before, it was like when even when there was a problem in the episode, like it was resolved by the end of that episode. So you always came away like feeling good
Hmm.
because it there was always this like end scene that was so lovely and like family centered and stuff. Like it was always about that. And this season, it's been a bit more like tumultuous with that. Like things that people are doing is making me upset. And Karen lied to Nikki as well about, and I found like with watching Bridgerton as well, I'm really sick of lying storylines.
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm sick of them. And I didn't used to be. And I still loved like the hidden identity of Lady Whistledown. But just in general, like it's such a it's becoming too formulaic for me, like the lie, and then they lie some more, and you're waiting for to tell them, and they don't tell them, and then they find out and they're super duper angry, but they'll forgive them by the end. And I'm just tired. People just
Yeah.
need to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. I also one thing that I realized now because I'm watching Supergirl and Lena just found out that Kara has been a Supergirl and that she's been lying to her and stuff. I realized what I don't like about like all these secret identities is that the person who didn't know is always they don't under like they don't take the other's person like justification in like they don't listen to them when they're explaining it. And I
Yes.
think that's not fair because, I mean, if you are a superhero and you're keeping your identity secret for the safety of other people around you, which is pretty
Hmm.
good justification to me, it's clear that you're not gonna start running around and screaming it out to other people. It's gonna take
Yeah.
time.
And also, if you look very closely, you will soon realize that that girl with glasses looks a bit like that girl in the sky.
Yeah, a little. There are
So
similarities, yeah.
maybe it's on you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Anyway,
Anywho,
anywho, anything else you've been enjoying?
I don't think of anything at the minute. We've been playing a lot of Sims.
Yeah,
It's kind of taken over my life again.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I'm still watching Supergirl, Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and now also Batwoman.
Oh, beautiful.
And while Ruby Rose is not the greatest actress in the world, let's play like I don't think I think she took the same acting school like McNamara, whatever her name is. That's okay because Kate Kane is first of all kind of lesbian. She had honestly, Ginny and Georgia, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Georgina played just her girlfriend, and I didn't remember her being there.
Ooh.
I know. So that was really great, and she looks so good in the suit. And I
Mm.
just had this very adorable moment where she saved a girl from a bomb. And the girl just put her hand on her face and she was like, "Are you real?" or something like that. And it was just so
Aw.
special to me. And I said it like, I think we talked about it together without the podcast, but like, I really, in the superhero movies and shows, I do miss the like attack, like the interaction with the normal people
Yeah.
because that's always so special to me.
Yeah. We was talking about how Marvel kind of lost that through the years. Like
Yeah.
when you think back on like the other Spider-Man movies with
Really was.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, like their focus was as well as like the revenge for Uncle Ben, it was also like saving the community and
Yeah, and there was the interaction of the community. So while the police were like vigilante boo-hoo, you had the scene with Toby in the train when the people discovered his identity because he had his mask off,
Mhm.
and they were like, "He's just a boy," and they together like came in as a community and protected him.
Yeah.
And in Andrew Garfield one, there was this amazing, amazing scene that I always stop is when there was the cranes and they were like making a way for him to get to where he
Yeah.
needed to be. And it was just so fucking iconic and good and so wonderful.
Yeah.
And you
It
don't
was
have
about
that.
yeah, no, it was about the humanity of it all.
Hmm.
And it's still there in Marvel. Like there are still some really beautiful, like gut-wrenching moments
Yeah.
and I love of the characters, but in general, it's not really about normal people at all. Like
That's what it,
there's
yeah.
none of them. Like it's not about community. It's not about like what our lives would look like inside that world because we'd all be fucked. They'd keep
Yeah, no,
destroying the
without a doubt.
cities. Hulk,
I don't want to
go
live in
away.
that. No, 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 no. I
We'd
wouldn't
all
want
live
to
in
live with that.
bunkers.
I was gonna say that I would like to move out into like suburbs, but even you're not safe even there. I mean, I
Yeah.
would be okay with being controlled by the one and only Wanda Maximoff, but I guess it's not a pleasant experience, is it?
Well, it can't be great to lose, to lose time and sense of reality.
Yeah, and I mean free will and stuff like that, and have
Yeah, free
nightmares
will, that
about her
little old
pain.
thing.
But I mean, if she was in my head, um, I guess the question is now, is my life currently better? Who knows? But anyway, back to the subject. For example, in Black Widow, there was a cut scene. They didn't put it into the movie, which I think is such a great disgrace. And it was a scene where she interacted with a little girl who was playing, like pretending to be Black Widow.
Mm,
And that's such a short, it was like 5 seconds, which I'm like, why couldn't it stay there? It's
yeah.
first of all such a powerful thing, and second of all, it really shows the effect that these kind of superheroes have on the other people, and how it like gives them strength and helps them to live through these horrific events.
Yeah, I agree. There are no people left in the MCU. They're all
No.
fucking dead
Well,
because
they
they
come
just,
back.
oh yeah. Yeah, no, but just like in general, like the
Mm,
amount of fights that destroy buildings and stuff. I
yeah.
think superheroes are probably responsible for most of the deaths instead of saving them.
I know, but that's what I mean. That was like a whole plot point in Supergirl is that she charges in, ruins a building, and then leaves without
Yeah.
taking in the like consequences of it. And she
Mm,
was very defensive about it, but I'm like, they're actually fucking right.
yeah.
So there was the whole season of like people being against her because of it, because she's, she takes on the big bad one that's there also possibly because of her, but then they're left to scramble with the leftovers and stuff like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting thing when you're showing like those cinematic moments where whole cities are destroyed. Like, it's very interesting to not include any sense of humanity in those at all,
Mhm.
considering like the way the world is at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it seems like a very, I wonder, I have to wonder sometimes if it's intentional, given that like Marvel and Disney are like not exactly, anti-war or anything.
Mm, yeah. But
Anything
I've
else?
been also, yeah, I was also watching Loot on Apple TV with Maya Rudolph. Um, and that one I is extremely relevant. It's extremely good. So it's about this wife of a big billionaire tech bro dude played by Adam Scott, who I met in Parks and Rec as a sweet and adorable man. So it's very weird for me to see him as a dickhead. And he's cheating on her, but they didn't have a prenup, so she got half of his wealth. And because she's sort of bored with her life, she finds out that she has a charity in her name. So she goes to work with them. And they're like talking about they're trying to get places for the in-house people in LA and all kind of stuff. And it there is a big focus on the fact that billionaires should not exist and
Mm,
all that can be done with the money while like sort of not having to jump through the red tape that's just extremely difficult to like navigate and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's really good. I really recommend it.
Yeah, I plan to watch it.
I think yeah, it's 2 seasons right now. I rewatched the first season and got to watch the second one. It's just really good. I think it's really good. Also, Maya Rudolph.
I know, I love her very much.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess the final thing that we've been enjoying together
Hmm.
is Bridgerton.
It is.
Kind of.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Season 3 just came out,
Mhm.
the final part, because they released it in two parts.
Yeah. And as I said before, I have a theory, right? In like 5 years, when they're gonna release the fourth season, they're gonna release it. It's gonna be 8 episodes again, but they're gonna do 4 parts. 2 episodes and then 2 episodes and then 2 episodes and then 2 episodes. And I think that they'll be like, oh my gosh, that actually works. So in the next decade, when they're gonna make the season 6, when Benedict will be in his 70s, fucking other people still because, they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, the previous it worked before. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna release it like one episode per part. And the next week we're gonna release another episode as another part." Oh my God.
One episode a week. Where
Mm.
would that idea come from? I don't know what you mean by that. I've
Oh
never heard
no.
of this before.
I know I'm just that like good. And I think if they would allow me into their big ballrooms, I would be like, this will bring you money.
Yeah,
Yep.
imagine that.
And I would be like, don't do 8 episodes. No, make them watch it for longer because then you'll get more money because they'll spend more time on your platform.
Mhm.
So do like 16 or I'm gonna sound wild, do like 22.
Honestly, if there was 22 episodes of Bridgerton a season, I would never want to see another ball again.
But that's
There's
what that's
no
what I feel like it would be very different if they would take more part. Well, perhaps not with Bridgerton
right.
specifically, but with other stuff. But like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots to unpack here. Like, first of all, there needs to be more things happening in Regency era Britain other than balls. There must be other
Benedict
ways to stuff.
especially. I don't want to see that anymore. I can't believe I'm gonna say it. I want to see less sex on Bridgerton.
I just can't stop thinking about that. They probably didn't have. I'm gonna look up what contraception did they use in Regency era Britain because I
Be
love
like
I love the
pearl.
poly rap. I love that finally they stopped gaslighting me into believing Benedict wasn't bi because he clearly is.
Yeah,
If his sexual partner is also going with other sexual partners at several times, it's just a breeding ground for things I'd rather not think about.
yeah, that. And also, I don't think it's necessary for the threesome to take like for 3 days while the rest of them are
Yes.
just going on with their life. And then we get a cutback to them still in the middle of undressing themselves.
It's the longest foreplay we've ever seen on screen
Honestly.
before.
They took ages. They like I think before they managed to go up the stairs, it took them like a whole day. I don't
I
want to see other
know.
people
And
for that
nobody
long.
nobody noticed he was missing.
Fucking people. And then he's back like, I was just on a walk.
Oh, other societies had used methods of blocking sperm, including plugs of cloth or grass in Africa, balls of bamboo tissue paper in Japan, wool by Islamic and Greek women, and linen rags by Slavic women. Ancient Jews used a sea sponge wrapped in silk and attached to a string.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was also something called a pessary, a mechanical tool or device used to block the cervix, was the most effective contraceptive device used in ancient times.
Yeah, but that would not stop the STDs.
No, right. Because not even Benedict. Colin was enjoying his time with some prostitutes for a few episodes before he decided he was in love with Penelope.
Did the same thing. Like, I didn't he spend like his entire first season in a brothel house?
Yeah,
With
and
the
he was
brothel.
traveling a lot and sleeping with a lot of women when he was traveling. So he also has some like overseas disease going on.
Yeah.
And same with Anthony. He was in brothels before he was sleeping with that woman in the first season, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like it's just 1 in 5 Londoners would have had syphilis
Mm,
by the age of 35. Historians also estimate the number who contracted gonorrhea or chlamydia was far higher, and there was no cure until 20th century. Every time I watch this sex scenes now, like I'm just thinking syphilis, syphilis.
mhm.
I don't know. Anyway, that's one problem that we had.
Yeah.
Of course, like before we got into the syphilis tunnel, there's also the facts that no fucking TV shows anymore release more than 8 episodes a season, and they take 5 years between seasons to come out.
Insane.
The Stranger Things cast, for instance, started when they were like 12. Millie Bobby Brown just got married, and we still haven't got season 5. Fuck.
You know.
It's just taking the piss. Like, I don't know what's going on with it's, but it's also the highest budget productions that are doing it. It's like you have money to keep your stars on set. You have
Yeah.
money to make more episodes. You have money to come back after a few months and start um shooting again.
And it will also make more money if it was quicker. I mean,
Right, exactly. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. I just don't understand. And that's why everybody's going to older shows now. Like rewatching shows that with several seasons long and 20 episodes per season. And they ended and like there's no uncertainty that it's going to take 5 years for another to come out.
the issue is like now I'm not getting emotionally invested with the new stuff because first of all,
Mhm.
I don't even know if there's gonna pass more than one season.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't even know any like much about the characters because it's so short. And then I forget most of it by the time the next part comes out.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about the new stuff.
And it's not even like you're compelled to rewatch it that often because 8 episodes isn't a lot. So
Yeah.
like it just ends up becoming repetitive if you rewatch it more than like a few times.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on with modern day TV. I don't get it. But I guess let's get into the show itself.
Hmm.
This season it was Bridget this season it was Penelope and Colin's love story. It was friends to lovers. And Penelope also had a hidden identity. She was also Lady Whistledown. How did you feel about it?
I don't remember much from the books because I listened to them on the audiobooks. They were very well narrated. But I guess like another thing I have a sort of an issue with is that like especially this season it felt like there was more going on with other characters than the main couple.
Hmm.
And so like Cressida, fucking hell, I didn't want to see her like
Oh
she,
my
and another
God.
thing is like yeah, her storyline is extremely tragic and like
Yeah.
it's absolutely horrifying. But at the same time, like they sort of put it there and didn't even like fully take enough time. And there were moments where felt sad with her, especially because Eloise was supposed to be her friend, and while Cressida was going through something really bad, Eloise was like, "I can't right now. I'll see you later." I was like, that's not nice. You don't do that,
Hmm.
right?" But I think they're shoving so many storylines into one part, into one scene, and they don't take proper time with it.
Hmm.
And I think that's and then so many things just lacks. Yeah.
Like, I mean, two Bridgerton family members had a gay awakening this season.
Mm.
I'm like, so really glad for the queer rap and what's to come with it. But I don't know. It did feel like that. Now that you say it, it felt like they was just trying to cram too much.
Yeah.
And what I think what a lot of fans want are more scenes with the pre-established couples, the couples of last season. Like we wanted more Kate and Anthony. Like we know that the future seasons are going to feature these other characters, so we're not like desperate to get a huge amount of content with them when we know that we're going to have a whole season for them.
Hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
just didn't vibe well as well this season.
I think also, um, at least what was so special to me about the books was the relationship of the family,
Hmm.
which right now is not a possibility because Phoebe and Regis on Page left, but were constantly there. Like they were supposed to move out, but yet they were still to be found and help their other siblings and stuff like that. So I guess Kate now took that upon herself, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with it. And I do,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because you can't really expect much from it because with Netflix, they always try to sort of go to the popular stuff and for the masses instead of actually taking time and care.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, mom.
And then, but then on like the opposite end of the spectrum, people are calling it bad without like any reason why it's bad. And I don't think that it's bad. I think like
Mm.
it's an incredible production. They put a lot of effort into it. And I feel like that was seen more this season than any other because we got like disabled extras.
Yeah.
Like they took time out of their production to like put the camera and design a regency wheelchair for one of the characters.
Yeah.
Like, and that must have they didn't have to put that energy in. And like, yeah, it's the bare minimum, but it's more than what most shows are willing to do.
Yeah.
And
And there was
like
also a sign language at the last episode, I think, for
there
the
was, yeah. Like I think that's just a word people throw around whenever a show is made for primarily like a female audience.
yeah.
Because there's nothing like actually bad about it from a like technical point of view or
No.
like it's good, it tells a story well, it like
And it's
explores
pleasant to look
characters.
at.
Yeah, it's really great aesthetically. And it's clearly high budget. So like it can actually be bad. Like it would have to have seriously terrible writers on there, and that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of tired of seeing that. But like what disappointed me was more just the reaction to like Penelope coming out as Lady Whistledown because like with Colin especially, like with Eloise, I got it because they were
Mhm.
friends and they were very like-minded. And
Mhm.
Eloise admired Lady Whistledown for a while, and obviously she wrote things about her. So I got it from that perspective. Like if you came out and told me you was a secret blogger who'd said things about me, I'd be like, bitch,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
At the same,
what?
like with her reaction when she found out about like her marrying Colin, like she was protective about her family, which she's not the devil. That's I feel pretty reasonable thing to like be, you know.
Yeah, this is an Eloise love club, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And she's queer, and nobody better take that from me. But also, like, Colin's reaction really fucking pissed me off. I got the hurt, I got it. And that scene was great where he discovered it. He wasn't supposed to cry.
Really?
He was supposed to be angry and then he just cried.
Oh God. It was
But but then like when Penelope tried to explain, he still didn't get it.
Mhm.
He was and that it was because of his male privilege and I hated that. Like he's the most basic Bridgerton brother. I'm gonna say it. He's very, very privileged. Like he's used his privilege the most. He gets to go out traveling. And then his mum has the audacity to say he's always looking after other people. Is that in the room with us? He's never like looked after anybody but himself. He's come back with a fucking suntan because he was partying in Greece all summer. Like,
Yeah. Someone pointed out though, so I think that's fair to add that he always brings like very specific gifts tailored to the specific person.
yeah.
And it was mentioned in this season too that he keeps writing letters and very rarely someone answers him back. And until now, it was only Penelope basically just doing that. But still, I don't think like, yeah, it's, yeah, still.
Yeah, well, but yeah, aside from that, like yes, like he's not completely horrible.
Yeah.
He has a very big heart and that's no
Yeah.
secret. But he's still a basic white man. Like w when Penelope tried to explain herself, he didn't listen. Like it's very understandable why she started this. Like she was treated like shit because she didn't look like the rest of the girls. She was always a wallflower and this was her way of like reclaiming her voice. It was like a very feminist storyline
Mhm.
and you just get him like, oh, you're just a liar, blah blah blah, like
Mhm.
not appreciating the nuance and her own perspective on the matter. Like you can't claim to love a woman like that and not understand their point of view in that respect. You just can't.
Yeah, I think also I saw someone mention that, and I don't remember that to be fair from the book, is that there was also lot of context missing from the show, and that Penelope was Lady Whistledown for a decade while her story with Colin started. So she was initially like in her late 20s, so actual spinster thing, you know?
Mm,
And so there was many more things that she wrote about Bridgerton's also because again, like 10 years, right?
right.
Uh so that there was also because I saw people being like, why is it so important to her? Another reason is that was a decade of her life. That was most of her
Yeah.
identity was that by the point, she was discovered. So yeah.
I think that's one thing that they didn't do that well. They didn't,
Yeah.
because even I was for a while was wondering like why she kept going with it. They
Yeah.
didn't explain why until the
Yeah.
very end.
Yeah.
Nobody told us like how hard it was to get published at that time and what an amazing accomplishment it
Hmm.
was for her to be able to get that.
Yeah.
Or even how she was published in the first place. When who started publishing her? Why? I don't think they ever explored that because then Colin was like jealous of that because
Yeah.
he wanted to be published, but it was never explained how Penelope came to be published. So
Hmm.
it was like it was hard. It was hard to understand either of them at some points,
Yeah.
honestly. I think that's the one thing they just didn't do well. And it made sense to me when as Penelope was talking about it completely because
Hmm.
like I think she started it for one reason and it became bitter as she became bitter, which it obviously would when you were treated like that. Not only by society, but by her own fucking mother.
Yeah. Yeah. Your entire family, and then eventually also her friend.
Yeah. So it like, and Colin saw that before he defended her from her mother before he
Hmm.
knew she was Lady Whistledown. So even just with that context, like he should have been a bit more gracious in the way he
Hmm.
reacted to her. And I don't know. And then it took him like three more episodes after that to love her again and to like accept her for who she was. And I was just like, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like, choose me, Lady Whistledown.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't deserve you anymore.
Mm.
He was just being a little bitch about it.
He was. Yeah, it's
And
true.
it was embarrassing to watch that scene of him with Cressida because Cressida's storyline could have actually been really good. Like,
You
they
know.
should have explored it that way, where like she was forced into a horrible marriage, a bit like
Absolutely horrible.
Agatha.
She was living in a horrible, horrible home.
Yeah,
But they turned it so embarrassing that it was so difficult to watch
I
what she was
know.
going to do next.
And she was unlikable from the start, even before we knew her
Yeah.
situation. And then obviously, like, she kept trying to one up everybody, and she didn't. I've never seen a character fail so badly. It was really bad. Usually, the mean girls are actually good at being mean, but she just kept doing it badly.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
It was
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Colin went to her and like tried to talk her out of it, and she was like, "Hey, bitch, you've never been a woman forced into this and that. Like, you don't know what it's like." And he was like, "Oh, yeah." And then she was like, "Now I'm doubling your blackmail fee," and he was like, "Oh," and walked out.
Yeah. I was like, I actually got it. I actually made it worse. I was like, no shit, did you?
And then he
It's
had to
like if you
go.
were listening to what the people were telling you.
It was just the male stupidity this season was too much, and I don't feel like it was resolved. I don't feel like he
Mm.
learned from his actions. I think he just discovered that she was gonna be Lady Whistledown whether he liked it or not, so he better
Yeah.
fucking like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the queen got behind it, mom.
She'll be withholding her beautiful tits until future notice, so you better get used to it.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I just Colin wasn't doing it for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, he gave the most depraved looks I have ever seen a man give a woman. Like
I don't
that
think that
cat
should be even
scene.
allowed to be on TV because I was scandalized. Do you understand that? The
When
slutty look he gave in the carriage when she like touched his hair. I think that should be banned. I'm telling it now. It was like fucking hell.
when authors say his eyes darken, he knows what that means. He
Yeah.
knows what it means,
Yeah.
man. So good. But unfortunately, his character was shit.
Mm, yeah.
And as well as that, there was this little bit of tea because it's no secret, like Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton. Is it Newton? Yeah.
I
Have
can't tell
been
which one.
they're
Yeah.
so close, and obviously fans are like, "Oh my God, they're really together," and they're pretty much stoking that fire because they're ridiculously close, and he gives her those eyes in real life. But
But
men are
then
disappointing him.
there's the thing. There's the thing. Like the presser ended on the day of on the release day, and he was like, "Let me show you my new girlfriend." However, I have few things to say to that because he's such a disappointing man. Apparently, his previous girlfriend was the one to like help him get through like just really help him like he described her as this strong rock he could lean on. His ride or die. And then people bullied her on Instagram. Boy didn't say shit about it
Mm.
when his fans came for her. And now he especially now that like the fans are so oh he and Nicola are together. And he's like, nope, meet my very young girlfriend. She's with me. I don't think that's a wise choice to do. I think that's very like yeah, people are it shouldn't this situation should not exist,
Mhm.
but it's also it feels very dangerous thing to do.
I
Like
think they knew what they were doing in making themselves look coupley.
no, absolutely that was absolutely PR thing, like for sure. They
Yeah,
sold it. They sold it.
they did.
And that's why it feels so much more dangerous for him to like pull her girlfriend on the day of the release.
Yeah.
I don't think like I don't know. I don't know. It didn't feel good to me. It felt a little icky.
No,
Like
it
he
feels.
wasn't he's in a situation where his partners are gonna be attacked, even though
Uh-huh.
aren't supposed to be, that without a doubt.
Oh
But I don't
yeah,
think he's
but he
taking the
knows that.
precautions.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think he's
exactly.
being protective of her, and that's where I struggle with.
And it's not like he couldn't know that. He's watched two other male co-stars get really famous really quickly from Bridgerton. They
Yeah.
know he knows that.
Yeah. And also the first part already came out, so like he could see the wave of people and their reactions
Hmm.
on the entire press tour with him and Nicola.
Yeah. I just think it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Just don't. I didn't want to see it, to be honest. Like, I really, really, I really, really enjoyed seeing a conventionally tall, handsome man with a very short, curvy woman.
Mm,
Like, I don't really care about his skinny young girlfriend. I'm
yeah.
gonna say it. I just want to live in my little bubble.
Mm,
She'll never be Nicola Coughlan though, and that's that.
mm,
But talking of, wasn't it fucking beautiful to see? I saw a body like mine be
mm,
fucked into oblivion, and that was wonderful.
mm,
Like her belly and like, oh, I love her belly and her bigger thighs. Like it was just really special. It's the first time I've ever seen a woman that's more my shape
mhm.
on screen in a seductive, like sexy way, and
Yeah.
to be cherished by like a typically attractive man. It was just very
Mhm.
fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But on the same vein, I'm really tired of her existing and people being like, this is why you shouldn't use buccal fat remover or that
Mm,
she like they're using her as like a political or like societal debate. And she's out here existing. She's not trying to prove anything. Like she's
mm.
like we've other bodies are so not normalized in society that she can't exist without like
Automatically
discourse
making a
about her
statement.
body.
Mm,
Yeah, exactly. Every day. And it must be so exhausting.
yeah. Yeah.
But I love her. Oh, and also 37 isn't old. She's not gonna wither and die because she's 37.
Someone
I'm
said,
s-
honestly, I recently saw a video of Pamela Anderson doing like her makeup routine, and someone said, this used to be like the sex symbol. Did you expect to like stay 25 forever? What the actual fuck? It's so ridiculous.
Oh.
It's so ridiculous.
They probably weren't even alive when she was a sex
I
symbol.
know.
Fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
hell.
Honestly. Honestly, man.
But also women can still be beautiful when they pass the age of 30.
I
Like, Everybody's like, you are such an inspiration, Nicola Coughlan. I can't believe you're 37 years old. And it's
Yeah.
like, what do you think she's gonna be? A pile of ashes on the floor? Like,
To be fair, I genuinely believe she was in her 20s. I genuinely
yeah.
believe
And
that.
you know why that is? Because she doesn't cater to unrealistic body standards. She doesn't use fillers, and she is chubby and proud of it. That's
Yeah.
why.
And she like radiates so much like goodness and like sunshine.
Yeah.
But I genuinely thought she was my age. Like no,
She looks very
she's
young. I
not.
mean, she played a teenager in Derry Girl, so like, of course she looks
Yeah,
young for
that
her
too.
age.
The fact that the women who played the teenagers there were like grown ass women in
I
their
know.
30s is so mind-boggling to me still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
There's
yeah.
just a way of phrasing it that doesn't make it sound like you expect a withered old hag.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I do.
Like we can say, oh, she looks young for her age and not make her age sound like she's infinite amount of years old.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's annoying me.
Mm.
I guess the last thing we need to talk about is the queerness.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm absolutely obsessed with Hannah Dodd. I am obsessed with her. Like I shit you not. I every time she comes on to screen, I'm like,
No, she's ridiculously perfect.
she's like that's a face of an angel. I think the
It
only
is.
effect that oh my gosh, what's the actress in Bottoms? Havana Lee was
Oh
the
yeah,
actress
I know
name?
who you mean. Yeah,
Again, like that was like surreal angelic face that I can't believe they're real.
I know.
And I'm very excited about her being queer. I'm very excited.
Yeah. It
Like
was a
one
little bit
thing, I
spoiled.
huh?
It was spoiled for us
Yeah, it was Poe.
on
Yeah.
social media,
I'm
but
upset.
not for me because I saw screenshots of Michaela and something about a man being turned into a woman. Um and I thought that John had transitioned into Michaela. I haven't read the book, so I don't know the history. Um
This theory is my all-time favorite theories you've ever had. I'm gonna put it out there. That's the best one yet. Okay, I love it. 10 out of 10.
I
Um,
yeah, that's where I thought it was going.
yeah, yeah.
Um, that's not the case.
No, I forgot about John's name being John. So the entire time I was like, "Bleh, he's not Michael, you know." Like I loved Michael a lot. I was like,
Um,
"Bleh." I think I mentioned it a few times, but then I remember what happened in the book. I was like, "Oh, what? No, I'm good. I'm okay with it."
yeah.
And then the fact that Michael is Michaela was spelled to me on Twitter and
Yeah.
TikTok, and then Twitter again like 7 times, and I got upset about that. And I'm like, fucking God, go fuck yourself with all the homophobic shit. I did see one take that I would partially agree with, and that is it's not the queerness that I think I also was little it's the fact that she got immediately like attracted to her
Yeah.
when
I
in
think
the
and
book.
I had the
Mm,
same feeling just because Violet was making this big speech about it's
mhm.
important to recognize that not all love looks the same and
Yeah,
that quiet love was also fine.
yeah.
And
A minute
not everybody
later.
stumbles over their words. And a
Yeah,
minute later, she stumbled over her words with somebody
yeah.
else.
Um, when in the book, like they got close, spoiler alert, after John died, and that grief was sort of like their connection, and it was more gradual instead of like the
Mm,
moment here. And I think why I why I always love the like widow and someone close to the person who died is the angst of them trying to like honor the person who died. And I
mhm.
think in a way it's extremely when it's done well, it's extremely beautiful and I fucking love it.
I agree.
And I'm
Yeah.
now a little worried about how it's gonna be now because if she's gonna be attracted to her while being married to John, I don't think I would I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah. But we'll see.
As
We'll
well,
see.
because they did put effort into like building up their story in a cute way that people would get attached to.
It was
So it
so
does
adorable.
it feels like in a way they set up the queer storyline for failure in that regard because everybody by that point was already attached to like John
Yeah.
and Francesca.
Yeah.
Francesca.
Yeah. I think that's also why if they would be like, hey, this is my cousin Michaela, and she would act normally towards her and not clearly attracted, I
Hmm.
think that would have a different result.
Yeah.
People will still be upset that there is a character like gender banded, but I don't give a fuck about that.
Hmm.
But like in the regard of doing justice to Francesca and John.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
I think it did feel like they was in an awful rush this season to make it more inclusive. And I
Mhm.
think what they need to know is that though we love inclusivity, like we want it done well and not
Yeah.
quickly and
Yeah.
lazily.
Yeah.
Like I would have been fine not knowing that like Michaela and Francesca are gonna be queer lovers at
Yeah.
some point.
And also like most of people, and because you would give it spoiled, first of all, on Twitter for
Yeah.
sure. And second of all, the fan base is mostly the book readers. So
Hmm.
either way, people would know about it.
Yeah.
They would still know about it. It would not be a secret. It would not be like this clever, quiet way to do it.
Mm.
It would just
Yeah.
be more respectful to the already existing relationship in the story.
Yeah. I don't really know and it's not like anybody tunes into Bridgerton expecting queerness.
Yeah,
Like queer people aren't going to Bridgerton and expecting anything less than heterosexual sex because that's all it's been given,
yeah,
especially in the books.
yeah. I
Like
know. I know we're gonna get a queer one though.
I'm really excited and I'm really glad.
I
The
know.
most unrealistic thing ever to me is when somebody does a series of sibling relationships and all of them are straight. Like there is no way. There's a gay person in every family. I don't care if you think there isn't. Somebody in your family is gay right now. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you that for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't believe in all straightness.
You know, I actually saw a video on TikTok, I think, of Hannah, the actress of Francesca, and the actor of John being interviewed. And the interview, like, they said that a lot of neurodivergent people are finding like themselves in their characters. And she said this beautiful sentence, and I don't remember it clearly, but it was something along the lines, it's only a good thing when people find themselves in what we do or in our characters. Like it was just so beautiful, and they were really excited about it. And I think that was also like
Oh,
very heartwarming to me
yeah.
because they
I
were
get that.
very clearly like
Oh
they,
yeah.
yeah, they're on
Autistic.
the autism spectrum for sure.
There was a few autistic characters this season,
Yeah.
like the other guy who was caught in Penelope, I can't remember his
Oh
name.
yeah.
He
Oh
was
yeah.
autistic as fuck.
Yeah.
He only wanted to talk about nature. His special interest was nature and birds. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just also really like this little the way the Bridgerton brothers sort of like accepted John immediately and sort of like John
Yeah.
became part of their little group like
Yeah.
effortlessly, even though he was a bit different from them.
Mm.
It was just really special to me.
Yeah. There are some really lovely parts of
Yeah.
Bridgerton that shouldn't be ignored. Like
No.
it
Especially
is,
the sibling relationships.
yeah. And just the fact like Violet's as a I think she's the best mother I've ever seen, and she's the
Honestly.
main mother in the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody treats her like the other because of she wants love matches for her kids,
Mm-hmm.
unlike every other parent, and that it's really sweet to have that. It's
Yeah.
nice to not have parents who are traumatized by their mother.
Yeah. And I really appreciate it, especially with the daughters. Like, especially with like Eloise and Francesca, they both had a sort of moment with her when they tried to like, I am not you, and I want different things than you want from me. And instead of her being like, "Nuh-uh," she was like, in a way, thank you for teaching me. I
Yeah.
understand. Like,
Yeah.
and that's so special to me.
Yeah, I agree. It really
Yeah.
is.
And I really like that Benedict was sort of the big brother this season because in previous it was more mostly Anthony, but I feel like now that he's of traveling with his wonderful, gorgeous goddess-like wife, good for him. Benedict sort of was like the one to offer the big brother advice, and
Yeah.
it was very special to me.
Yeah. Get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Benedict's season, I have to say. But like I am concerned because of the way they've done the queer storyline, like right now he wants to experiment. He doesn't want to marry, he doesn't want to be in a relationship. I'm
Mm,
concerned that like his wife, like I don't know that they'd suppress that if when he meets his girlie in 50 years time when they decide to film it.
yeah.
Like,
Maybe, yeah.
because I know
No.
everybody really loves Benedict and Sophie.
I honestly, I love them so much. They were one of the top
Yeah.
couples to me.
And I don't
Without a
want that
doubt.
queerness to like be buried down because he needs to be with Sophie. I
Mm.
don't want them to throw away the book and make up some of the plot
Hmm.
because I love the sound of it. But like he needs to be able to be queer and be with her. Like he needs to be like, hey, by the way, I'm bi, and like this is
Yeah.
always going to be a part of me, even though I'm in love
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Like, I just want that. I just want that.
That conversation at the very least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's then there's no point in him being queer if he can't be queer later on.
Mm. Yeah.
I have hope that they wouldn't do that to us, but I don't know. You never
Look,
know,
there is
man.
a good chance that like they'll cancel it before he gets his season.
No.
Like,
Well,
let's be
it just got
real.
we're on Netflix and it just got queer. So we all know what happens when a show gets queer on Netflix. It's
Hmm.
gonna get cancelled. But I
Especially with suffix, especially with them.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anywho,
that was that.
that was that. Not
So
quite.
until next time,
Support women's rights,
but most importantly, support women's wrongs
especially if they're writing nasty things about you in the local paper.
and making bajillion money from it. Good for her.
And boobing bouncily boobing along.
Agreed. That's always appreciated.
Yeah. Oh wait, first of
Yeah.
all, Camp Pride starts. We're going to be announcing Camp Pride this week.
Yes.
It starts on the 1st of July,
Hmm.
and it's a month-long writing event, much like NaNoWriMo, for a safe writing community to encourage you to meet your goals, and there'll be lots of badges and fun stuff at the end of it. There's going to be a landing page so you can learn more about it there, and we're going to have a very active Discord. And we're going to have writing prompts for every day, so you can tag us all over social media about what you're working on next month. Set
Yes.
your goal, decide what you need to do to meet it, and come chat with us about it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you caught a new breath, man. You just ran. That's the
I
most energy you
never
had
talk
all
that
day.
fluently. I
I
never talk that
know.
fluently.
And like without confidence, no, with confidence, I mean like you didn't get stuck anywhere. You just
I
went.
know. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Who was
I
I?
don't know. Impressive.
I know.
Anyway, good. God.
Yeah.
And we shall see you later, alligator.
In a while, crocodile. Thank you for listening to Swords and Sapphics. You can enjoy a new episode every Wednesday.
While waiting, you can visit our website, swordsandsuffix.com, and find lots of articles, interviews, and guest pieces.
Feel free to contact us with any requests, questions, or inquiries through a form on our website or directly to our email, swordsandsuffixpodcast@gmail.com.